Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. In the previous video, we discussed about what is actually Selenium WebDriver, why it is used, and how are the test scripts written, what are programming languages supported, and all these things which we have discussed, right? So today we are going to move out further with the Selenium WebDriver only, and we are going to discuss about some more very much interesting facts regarding the WebDrivers. Right, so let's get started out here. Let me quickly take out a different color here so as we can begin up the writing and as well it makes up some difference in the sort of writing, right? Great. Okay, first of all, what I'll be doing is that whatever let's say we studied about the Selenium RC as well. I told you the very detailed about Selenium RC, right? Some 3 to 4 previous videos I told you about that respective thing. So, in RC, what was happening? RC was as well supporting of the same programming languages which is WebDriver supporting. So why basically WebDriver is mostly preferred rather than RC? Because whatever the functioning are done, these are almost same. Then what's the reason that why WebDriver is mostly preferred other than the RC? So let's see out this respective question. Okay. So I'll be start writing up here that Selenium WebDriver performs much faster than RC. Achha, this is the very first reason that Selenium WebDriver performs much faster than RC, right? But what's the reason in that respective case? Why it performs out much faster than RC? So here goes because it makes direct calls to the web browser and to the web browser. RC on the other hand RC on the other hand needs a RC server to interact with the browser. So in actually what happens in the WebDriver, first of all, WebDriver performs out much faster than RC. Reason for that is very much simple, that WebDriver, it makes up the direct calls to the web browser. It makes up the direct calls to the web browser. But what about RC? So RC simply first of all needs out a server to interact with the web browser. Now in WebDriver, what is happening in WebDriver, directly it is connecting to the web browser, but in RC, to connect it to the web browser, a server is needed in between. So that's the reason that Selenium WebDriver is more faster than the RC, right? So hope I'm clear with that respective thing. The reason for WebDriver being more faster than the RC. Fine. Now let's get down. Okay, great. So there are basically most commonly web drivers. So I would write them. So I will list them actually. So the most commonly used web drivers, most commonly used web drivers are, what are the most commonly used web drivers? Then I have Google Chrome driver. Okay, we have here the number one, that's the Google Chrome driver. Okay, second you are having here Opera driver. Next you are having the Safari driver. Then you are having the Internet Explorer driver. So here goes Internet Explorer and here goes the driver. And then next, number 5, you are having HTML unit driver. Okay, so it does HTML unit driver. So these are the most commonly used web drivers. Okay, the web drivers which are mostly commonly used nowadays, those are Google Chrome driver, Opera driver, Safari driver, Internet Explorer, and the HTML unit driver. Right, so I hope I'm very much clear with this respective thing, that what are the most commonly used web drivers nowadays. Great. So what I would now do is that I would get down and begin up a very important topic here, and that is the Selenium WebDriver architecture. Okay, now we'll be studying about the architecture of the Selenium WebDriver. So I would mention of that. It's Selenium WebDriver architecture. Fine, it's Selenium WebDriver architecture. Fine. So let's discuss about this respective thing in a detail. So Selenium WebDriver API, Selenium WebDriver API provides communication. Here goes communication. So Selenium WebDriver API provides communication facility between languages and browsers. So this is the very first thing that is actually here, that the Selenium WebDriver API provides the communication facility between the languages and the browsers. Okay. In the architecture, basically, you have some things right here in the architecture which are as a part of the architecture. So I would list those things right here. So the number one, the first part where is have the Selenium language bindings. So this is the very first part which we have out here, that's the Selenium language bindings. Okay, so some Selenium language bindings are included in the architecture. Then next we are having the JSON wire protocol. Okay, the second one is basically the JSON wire protocol. So you have out a JSON wire protocol as well in the architecture. Third, you are having the browser drivers. So here goes the browser and here goes the driver. So browser drivers. Okay, browser drivers. And then number 4, you are having up the real browsers. So these are the 4 things which you have necessarily in the architecture of the Selenium WebDriver. So it goes with first of all Selenium language bindings. Secondly, you have JSON wire protocol. Third, you have the browser drivers, and next you are having the real browsers. So browser drivers are basically used for checking up the test cases. Okay, in that respective case, it is used out. So yeah, these are the 4 parts which constitute the architecture of the Selenium WebDriver. Right, so hope I'm very much clear with that respective thing. Okay, let me go above for a short while. Right here, let's see that what we discussed till now regarding the WebDriver. So the Selenium WebDriver is the most important component of the Selenium suite of tools. It's really one of the most important components, right? So what are the latest release of the Selenium? So in that now, that is integrated with the WebDriver API. So what's the use of that? So in which it provides out a simple and more concise programming interface. Okay. Selenium WebDriver was first introduced as a part of Selenium v2.0. Fine. In WebDriver, test scripts can be developed using any of the supported programming languages and can be run directly in most modern web browsers. The languages which are supported are C#, Java, Perl, Ruby, PHP, and Python. Then Selenium WebDriver performs much faster than RC because it makes direct calls to the web browser. RC on the other hand needs a RC server to interact with the browser. 5 of the most commonly used web drivers are Google Chrome driver, Opera driver, Safari driver, Internet Explorer driver, and the HTML unit driver. Selenium WebDriver architecture is in a form that Selenium WebDriver API provides communication facility between the languages and the browsers. And what are the different things in the architecture of the Selenium WebDriver? So those are Selenium language bindings, JSON wire protocol, browser drivers, and the real browsers. Right, so I hope I'm very much clear with all of these things regarding the WebDriver. What are the main things which are in the architecture? Now, in the next video, we'll be discussing about all of these four parts of the architecture in that detailed manner. That what are the use of these parts which are included in the WebDriver. Right, so this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.